Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Brown's Latest. I'm Dave Grendzynski, and a lot of people call me Grizzer. And this is where we get you caught up on some of the latest news that is tied to our favorite team in the NFL, the Cleveland Browns. Thank you to everybody who has liked our previous episodes and everyone who has subscribed to the channel. We are just moments away from hitting 10,000 subscribers, and I cannot thank you enough. I'm mixing up the fit a little bit already. I will change it up for one day once we hit 10,000. Because normally I go zipper all the way up, or I'm mixing it up for you today. A little preview for the 10,000 subscriber show. Also, thank you to everybody who is become members of the Browns Latest Dog Pound. Appreciate that. And those of you who get your comments down there in the viewer comment section. Now, coming up on today's show, boy, the Browns' offensive line, it is offensive. I got some new numbers. Whew, I'm telling you right now, get the kids out of the room. You don't want them to see this. We have another potential coaching option to discuss. Shador Sanders likes a tweet and the world stops. And then down in the viewer comments, what Kevin Stefanski is really afraid of. And okay, did you get the kids out of there? Get them out. Everybody out. I don't know. You may want to even hide your eyes. But we have some new graphics and numbers and things to look at that are tied to our offense, which is just offensive. We'll start with the pass protection chart. This comes from the Computer Cowboy. You ever see this guy on Twitter? Pretty good. He's got some good stuff. Not just about the Browns, but all the teams in the NFL and different types of information. And there we are. We're easy to find. Just look all the way to the left. That's us. Trailing far behind the rest of the league. We're almost, we could maybe catch the Dolphins. We beat the Dolphins. You would think the Dolphins think less than us, but in this case, they don't. Not good. This is measured by two independent sources, this chart. So it's not just somebody going, hey, this is what I got. You got multiple sources, like what I try to do. I always make sure. I try to get multiple sources to before I start spewing out with the mouth here. Here, you ready for another chart? Ready? Okay, this one's going to be easy to read too. Just look all the way at the end. There we are, 31. We actually beat the Dolphins in this. This is pass blocking grades in true pass sets only, which means this excludes plays with less than 4 rushers, play action, screens, short dropbacks, and time to throws under 2 seconds. So when you take all of that stuff away, like the trickeration or the quick throws, all those kind of things, when it's just a straight up, we're going to throw a pass and you're going to rush 3 or less, we're 31. So there we go. Now, not to pile on, but this isn't necessarily directly related to the offensive line, but it is related to the offensive line. Daniel Oifusi, who I love. He's an ESPN reporter. He works out of Cleveland, covers the Browns out of Cleveland for ESPN. He does some great stuff, man. I'm always checking out his Twitter feed, but he put this list together that, trust me, it is not going to make anybody feel any better about the offense. He compared, after 8 games, he compared the 2025 offense to the 2024 offense, and for the most part, it's worse. Other than points per game, look, we're 15.8 this year, 30th. Last year at this time, we were 15.2, 32nd. Yards per game, yep, worse. 263, by what? 300 last year at this point. So what is that? 27-yard difference? It's math. Remember, communications major. Yards per play, worse. Expected points added, about the same. We're tied for 31st this year. We were 32nd last year, same exact number. And the success rate, this year we're 35%. Last year, we were 38%. Same spot, 32nd. but worse number. So, what do we make of all that? It's not good, folks. I just, if any other team on any other planet would be making wholesale changes at this point. And it would start with, who coaches this side of the ball? Like, who handles this? Because they need this is not good. Oh, the same guy that's been doing it for the last 5 years, and it's basically looked the same the last 5 years? Well, 6 years, actually. Oh, okay. And it's looked this bad? Yeah, about. Pretty much. Okay. I mean, but we're gonna roll out there with all the same things. I mean, that's the thing. Like, this isn't all on Gabriel. It doesn't help. Because even Flacco, Flacco hurt his shoulder now. He's probably gonna miss the game. Sprained his AC joint. But I just thought Flacco was misused. He wasn't allowed to sling it like he did in 2023. They had to put him under wraps because that's what the Kevin Stefanski offense seems to do. Stifles quarterbacks. So, our offense, our offensive line, it's all offensive. Everything is offensive about the side of the ball that you need to score points. So, those numbers don't paint a pretty picture. So, we talk about, you want to change, right? You want to make some changes. Yesterday, we talked about Ryan Day. Here's another one. This guy's name that keeps coming up. And it came, actually, from a viewer comment. It was William Simmons, 4873, who said, bring in a quarterback coach that knows how to win games with strategy. John Gruden is who he is clamoring for. And he's not alone. There are other people who are clamoring. And Gruden has said, he says he wants to come back and be an NFL. He wants to be a head coach. Now, NFL or college, I think he'd want to be an NFL head coach. But the thing he did say for sure is he doesn't want to just come back and call plays. So don't expect him to come to a team and just take over the offense, because that's not what he's looking for. He's always doing videos where he gets boxes of clothes and things from I wish I'm like, man, I'm the one that does the fit changes. Could somebody send me some clothes? For the love of God. He got stuff from the Browns. You get stuff from everybody. But that's what he's doing these days. He's making unboxing videos, so I mean, it looks like he's got some spare time. But Gruden for sure, I think he's another one of those guys, just like Sean Payton, these guys, man, they know what they're doing. And so here's the way I look at the Browns job. Whoever comes in here, if they can turn this around, you got the new stadium coming in 2029. Because somebody asked in a viewer comments, why would Ryan Day want to come to Cleveland and take over this mess? Okay, if he wins another national championship, what else is there for him to do in college, really? There's nothing else to do. And then you could stop all that recruiting nonsense and have it, fly around the country and, not that you necessarily have to beg kids to come to Ohio State. He probably doesn't have to do it as much as some other guys, but, you have all that. These college coaches, they want to go to the pros. That's the best. That's the top level. So you go to the top level, and how about this? You go to Cleveland and you turn Cleveland around and you win a Super Bowl in Cleveland, statues, not just the one. Multiple statues. So that is why Ryan Day would be interested. I think that's why any coach should be interested in this job. Plus, now you've got a brand new stadium coming in 2029. So you'll be out from under this Watson deal, and the cap space will free up here in the next couple of years. So there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And it seems like, the way everything looks right now, it seems like they don't even care what's going on right now. And they're just waiting for 2029 to get here. So, to me, this is going to be a very attractive coaching job for a lot of people. And I think Gruden would be one of the people who'd be interested. And he has got Ohio ties, too. So, it's not out of the realm of possibility. I thank you for your viewer comment. William Simmons, that was, and you're not alone. You're not alone in your thinking. That's not the first time I heard that. And did you hear about this? Shador Sanders liking a tweet. I don't know if you ever see Brad Stainbrook on Twitter. He's a big Browns guy and always doing some stuff, has some good information, this and that. Well, anyway, he put this whole thing on there about how, it's time for Shador to start. And Shador liked it. It was an Instagram post. And the way Stainbrook described it, he says, Browns quarterback Shador Sanders liked my Instagram post where I called for the former team to start the former Colorado. So he called for the team to start the former Colorado quarterback following the bye week. He said, Dylan and Shador get along great. This isn't shade coming from Shador. It's just a young player showing he's hungry and wants to play. And we talked about this all along. I mean, whether it's, the comments that everybody tried to, turn into something else and this and that. Like, here's Shador wants to play, and you want the guy to be hungry. Of course he's going to be hungry. I mean, especially when you're used to starting your whole life. You got to wait your turn. Okay, well, whatever. But it's coming, folks. Jimmy Haslam said both rookies will play. And Dylan Gabriel is not off to a shining start, but everybody got a little, well, what? Shador liked it? What? The world stops, and it's not shade. And we even heard Judkins talk about that. He's like, everybody gets along, which is great, which is awesome on their part to try and, to stay above all of this as best as they can because that's all they can do. Just focus, just worry about what you got to do. And so it seems like that is exactly what Shador is doing, even with all of the noise that is happening right now around the Cleveland Browns. Now, what's never noise and what's always smoking, of course, are the viewer comments. And today we'll start with Keith Greer, who says Ryan Day didn't deserve the Ohio State job. He said, Ryan Day has been a disappointment to me until he won that title last year. Luckily, he said he does not deserve a pro job. I beg to differ, Keith. Sorry, man. I just think that, and this is a guy, see, in Cleveland, and we've talked about this before, we like to root for, our guys. That's why it hurts so much. That's why so many people can't forgive LeBron for what he did. He was our guy, and he left us twice. And not just left us, left the team in shambles twice. So things like that, when guys kind of leave on their, it's one thing if you're traded, and that we get that. But if you just peace out because you want to be out of Cleveland, that's why, the Myles Garrett thing, I was like, let him go, ship him off. But the problem with the Myles Garrett thing is he took away all of our leverage by doing that. If he'd have gone to them privately and said, look, you got to figure this out. And, he may have done that. I mean, we'll never know. But once he went out there and said, I want out of Cleveland, the Browns had no leverage. They weren't going to get anything from Myles. And so the Browns had no choice. But I sound like Art Modell now. I had no choice. They had to try and work it out because they weren't going to get fair market value for Myles Garrett. And that's why I brought it up. It's funny, a lot of people must watch this show because as soon as I brought up Myles Garrett, the Myles Garrett trade, there's 50 gazillion articles about how the Browns could trade Myles Garrett. Could the Browns trade Myles Garrett? Yeah, the Browns could trade Myles Garrett, blah, blah, all that stuff. So I appreciate that. That's awesome. But I do think Ryan Day would be... I think it's worth taking a shot. Can't be worse than Stefanski, that's for sure. Jacob Mason. I feel like Stefanski's afraid. This is what we teased at the top. Jacob Mason. I feel like Stefanski's afraid of being wrong. And he's so narcissistic that he can't come off that. And he's going to put out that horrific offense that he is willing to die on that hill. It sure does seem that way, doesn't it? I mean, handpicked Dylan Gabriel, and we have seen this before, though. When Watson came in, and everybody's watching this over and over and over, the air balls and the worm burners and everything, and it's like, what are we doing? And he just kept sending him out there and sending him out there. Go back to Baker. Baker was hurt, should have never been in there, and Stefanski never took him out. That one I'll never understand. All you had to do is be the adult in the room and go up and say, listen, Bake, you are the quarterback of the future. You are our future franchise quarterback. So here's what we need you to do. We need you to go have surgery. Don't worry about this year. This year is done. Get that shoulder fixed so you can come back 100%. You'll have this year under your belt. We can start working as soon as you can start working, and we'll get this all together, and you come back, and you're going to be our franchise quarterback for the next 10 years. Sound good? Nobody did that. They just kept sending him out there with one arm. So we've seen it before, Jacob Mason, but great take. Blue Man Rule, which I love that handle. I think I'd rather see the offensive scheme change before Shador enters the game. He's a baller and will throw deep. Right now, this scheme doesn't allow this, right? It doesn't. And maybe that's the problem because Stefanski knows it's trying to put a square peg in the round hole, right? If you try to put Shador into this offense. Or maybe the other thing is Shador is going to make Gabriel look, Flacco's already making him look bad. But it's just tough to fathom that Shador, if he has to work in this offense with no chances to audible and no chances to improvise and do things on his own, if you strip all that away from him, he's going to look just like every other quarterback that's tried to play in this offense. He's going to look terrible. That is my opinion. And so I think you've got to get the coach out of the way. Let Reese take over and then consider moving Shador in there. I think you got to flip them both. You got to flip play caller along with quarterback, or we're never going to get a true read on what we're seeing here. Badge of Honor says, this agent thing will lead to a shakeup or a lawsuit. Stefanski, hot, too brazenly unfair. Now, this whole agent thing, okay, they share an agency. That much we know. And there's all this conflicting stuff of do they have the same agent? Here's what I'm going. They share it. There's a connection. I can't tell you exactly what the connection is after going through everything, but there's a connection. And to me, it's still a little sketchy. But there's no formal policy against the NFL, so they're not doing anything wrong. It's just one of those things that's a bad look. And so, I was like, my head was spinning yesterday over the whole agent thing. I was like, I wish I didn't even bring it up. But they are tied to the same agency, and all the coaches apparently have the same agent, from what I understand. But who knows? It's like CIA level stuff trying to figure this out, this whole thing. So we're just going to leave it at that. I'm washing my hands of it. If I don't want to, because I pride myself on making sure everything is right. I don't want it to be anything erroneous out there. So all we know is there's a connection, okay, between the agency and all of Gabriel's coaches and Gabriel and Stefanski. There's a connection. We're leaving it at that, and we're moving on. But there's going to be no lawsuit. There's going to be no, because they're not doing anything wrong. There's no formal NFL policy that's now. The NBA has something, but the NFL, no. So they're not doing anything wrong. So we'll leave it at that. It's over. It's done with. That's that. All right. And we'll end today with Justin Breeze, who says, my dream job is to own the Browns. We will have an awesome quarterback and a team if someone lets me borrow $10 billion. So, okay, well, we can take up a collection for you, Justin. I don't know, possibly, and it could happen. I don't even think a GoFundMe is going to get you there, Justin. But you could talk to get a list of billionaires together and see if they can spot you. See what happens. But I thought that was hilarious because that's where everybody's at right now. Everybody's like, can I just run the team, please? Because I can do better than what's going on right now. Because it is such a hot mess. And we'll see what happens. We're a 2.5-point dog, an underdog to the Jets, which, makes sense. The way things are going. The Jets are coming off that big come-from-behind win this week against Cincinnati. So, but that is another team that's a hot mess. We had such an opportunity here. We could still go and win, these winnable games, and that might be the worst case scenario. Is it? I don't know. We might have to talk about that. What's the best case scenario? Do we want to finish around 500 and mess up the draft, or do we want to just keep losing for the better draft picks. I don't know. We just want to win here in Cleveland, bottom line. So, all right, that's going to do it. Thanks for joining us. We're almost there. When maybe by the end of the week, we'll be changing the fit. We'll see. All right, thanks so much for joining us. Go Browns. We will see you next time.